Spring. Not the loud version of spring, not the rushed version full of plans and pollen and packed weekends, but the quieter version, the softer version. Welcome to spring, the one that arrives gently, almost shyly, asking nothing from you except that you notice it. Spring never really kicks the door in. It slips in through a crack. First as a rumor, first as softer air, first as that strange golden light hitting the side of a building at 6 in the evening, like the world is trying something again. It doesn't ask for attention. It just changes the temperature of everything. You can feel it before you can explain it. The city loosens. The trees stop looking so sure of their emptiness. The morning gives up a little of its bite. And people stand outside for no reason. Windows open, music leaks out. Because spring is not perfection. It is re-entry, not a grand reopening, not a cinematic transformation, just the slow return of certain things. Color, warmth, impulse, hope, in small unannounced doses, a thaw. And maybe that's why it hits so deep. Because there is a longing, green, 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 of the leaves on the trees, and for the bloom, suddenly, of beautiful flowers. Spring shows up all casual and says, you can put down all of that work for now. You can hold the schedule. You can silence the busyness and just take a look around. Look around. Life as a still life. And there's room for walking around, for taking in the beauty, for feeling the breeze. The harshness or severity or even loneliness of winter has fallen away. The whole world is no longer in grayscale. No more hard edges. No more brisk cold. Spring doesn't solve that. It seduces it. It leans against the doorway and says, come outside. To the light, into the air, as the sky lingers longer in the evening, and the branches begin to loosen at the edges. The season enters quietly, but it changes everything. There's something elegant about that. Nothing theatrical, nothing declared, no need for spectacle, just a gradual softening, a release, a return. Spring doesn't overwhelm the senses. It persuades them. It coaxes the body back into relationship with the world. A milder wind against the face, the scent of rain lifting from the pavement, and a brief astonishment of all the green all around, where for months there was only structure. A reawakening of beauty, of movement, of possibility. Spring brings a sky that is suddenly luminous, pearl at dawn, blue glass by afternoon, and violet at the edges of the evening. There is moss brightening at the roots of trees, rainwater holding the pale reflection of clouds, and the first daffodils standing in the grass with their yellow insistence, as if they know something the rest of the landscape has not fully realized. Knowing that every branch, bark, stone, and field is about to be beautiful because spring has sprung. and it will begin its slow extravagance. A haze of green appears on the trees. Magnolia buds swell like closed velvet. Cherry branches gather themselves, and then almost overnight, they loosen into bloom. Amazing. Beautiful. Dogwoods arrive with their soft white constellations, and wisteria begins its impossible descent, spilling lavender from porches and trellises. Even the ground changes character in spring. The soil darkens with the rain. The lawns brighten. The garden borders begin to stir with their layered intentions of hyacinth, tulip, iris, and peony. Ferns unscroll in the shade with an elegance that is almost ceremonial, while wild violets appear low to the earth, modest and vivid all at once. Spring brings leaves trembling at the ends of branches, water slipping through gutters and roots, bees working the clover, and a robin striking the lawn with improbable seriousness. The birds are back as the petals loosen into the wind, turning the sidewalk into something briefly and suddenly theatrical. Spring brings the blossom-heavy trees, the birds at dawn, and a season that is lush and opulent, and all about renewal. A new day, a page has turned, and spring knows that color is the most powerful when it emerges from restraint. No false ornament, no decoration for its own sake, but the genuine embellishment of life, of nature, returning to itself. The plum tree blooms, the camellia opens, the hedges begin to thicken, and the hillside roughens with new grass as the creek runs fuller, brighter, sounding different over stone, babbling. The air itself, washed by rain, scented by damp earth. Even shadow changes in spring. It softens. Leaf shadow, branch shadow, moving shadows, touching all around us. Between each branch and leaf, rain and root, sun and stone, bird song and morning, body and air. Welcome to spring, to the splendor that is spring. Radiance, brilliance, softness, and beauty, blossoming, blossoming, blossoming in spring.